Good afternoon and very warm welcome after a hearty lunch. So the post-lunch sessions are always tricky. So in case any of you are a bit sleepy, I might invite the organizers to very well do the next round of Surya Namaskars. So if you don't want it, stay awake, stay with me. The day has been very productive so far, and I have listened to many illustrious speakers in the day. And honestly, when I came in as a speaker, the day so far has made me realize that I'm more of a learner. And that's the essence of it, the essence of future of work that we will talk about, that it's being important to be a lifelong learner. And take a bow, the speakers before me this morning, please take a bow. Amazing insights. I never thought that I learned so much from the session today. And ICT Academy, hats off to you for bringing such recommended, such amazing people together on this one platform. Thank you so much. Now, friends, since I have already said that I'm a student, I'm a learner, and the way our professors very, legitimately took their handouts and said that they're allowed for it. So being a student, I also carry a check with me. Being cheeky here. And okay, coming to the topic, future of work. The topic is wide open. We are talking about future. We all know that, when we talk about this kind of topic, it can spark a lot of passionate discussions with very diverse opinions about it, because people from different walks of life, academicians, academic bodies, industry, students, professors, so all kinds of thoughts will come here, and amalgamation of it will give you the essence, the takeaway for the day. And since we talk about future, most of us would agree that the future is uncertain, but it is still exciting, and then we will realize when we go through the presentation that how exciting the future is. It presents the opportunities, and with technology, how the technology is itself changing every 5 years, we can at max make informed projections based on the trends that we observe today, that how it is going to look like. So you have already seen it, that's another lopsided of being a post-lunch speaker. Most of the thunder is already stolen. But anyway, I'll take you through the first industrial revolutions. You heard it, the steam engines and all. Second, mass production assembly line. Third was computer and automation. That is the one which I saw closely, and it brought internet connected everybody, the whole world. It was a huge leap, and things started really changing from that point of time, especially in the service industry in India. And the fourth one that we are going through is the fourth version of it, which is mostly being driven by three important technologies: automation, AI, and cloud. Basically digital technologies. And apart from these, there are many sunrise technologies that are making huge impact today. These includes blockchain, Internet of Things, robotic process automation, so on and so forth. And when we talk about it, these are all digital in nature. So some of these technologies are really rising together. Data analytics, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things are working together to bring about a multiplier effect, a combinatorial effect. And these are the technologies that are driving how the companies are operating today. So in the fast changing world, today we are used to man first syndrome. Now it is quickly changing into machine first, which means anything which is repeatable can be automated. That's the whole essence of automation. If it is repeatable, then it can be automated, and digital technologies are helping us delivering that. Now, while technology is powering the change, the ultimate driver is the consumer behavior and the way the businesses are evolving. And businesses are evolving, the technologies are evolving even faster than what we realize. IoT will encompass 21 billion things by 2020, not that far away. Almost 3 devices for every human being in the planet. Now, sometimes we don't even realize that IoT has touched our life. Just very recently I was watching an advertisement on a TV, There was a light bulb company which showed that somebody has gone for a trekking, forgot to switch off the light. The person picks up the mobile phone, does something on the apps, and the light gets switched off. So that's how light bulbs of those will get into the homes. How many homes are going to enter? Which means those many devices, those many homes are being touched by Internet of Things. Now, it's important to understand similarly how the businesses are evolving. Eventually, when we talk about future of work, we are talking about the technologies that are going to drive that, and those technologies actually ultimately are being driven by the business characteristics. So we call this as Business 4.0. Industrial Revolution 4.0 gives birth to Business 4.2. Now, if you see Business 4.2, there are 4 key business characteristics of the modern day organizations. Embracing risk, tailored mass customizations, then leveraging ecosystems, creating exponential values. Embrace risk is something like a Tesla investing huge amount of money on futuristic automatic vehicles. We don't even know whether the government, the regulations will allow that or not. But that's a risk, that's a technology for the future, and the organization is investing. Mass customization, somebody talked about, you search something, your Google search in the night is a data marketing commodity in the morning. You will see your Amazon logins give you exactly relevant stuff that you bought some time back or you search for it. It will keep you prompting for that. Similarly, Facebook, customized ads. So we all see that. Every day we are looking at this mass customization. My advertisement that I see is different from the advertisement that you see in your Facebook. Create exponential value. Airbnb, they've created value for the houses, the properties that are lying vacant. They've created a value out of that. They have also the taxi services. They sell Wi-Fi. The train services in QCABs in closely, they are selling Wi-Fi packages. So they are creating exponential values and leveraging ecosystem. Another very recent example. 2 days back, I was traveling, taking a cab aggregator, and in that suddenly a notification pops up. Job openings at Boeing. And when I clicked that ad, it was only IT jobs that was there. So I never realized that an app aggregator app will give me a job notification. So they are tapping on the passive job seekers. So they have leveraged that. And how are they doing it? None of this is possible without these 4 technological pillars: cloud, automation, intelligent, and agile. This 4 technological pillar, and most of the technologies that we're talking about today, whether it's a blockchain or Internet of Things, they're all falling in one of these umbrellas. Okay? So these are powering the change, the transition, the transformation the organizations today are going through in this revolution. Now, each revolution, it has created disruptions. Okay? There were some jobs which disappeared, there were some jobs which replaced the existing jobs. But at the end of the day, the way we see the world today, we have continued to prosper. So which means any disruptions is not easy, but eventually we will see that as humans we overcome that and we continue to prosper. Now, this is a survey that TCS as an organization did with our clientele across geographies. If you see all those technologies that we talked about, our customers across globe are ready to adopt. They're already investing heavily. Now, what does it mean for us when we talk about jobs of future or future of work? So business is driving the change. If our customers are investing this much amount of money and they're adopting the technology so fast, which means that the customers, the work that we are going to get will be catering to those technologies only. Their investment today is the future for us in terms of the students, the jobs, the skill set that we require to cater to their requirements. So already some technology like cloud are picked up already big time, and then others are, obviously picking up. So it's changing the whole landscape of employability and employment. The whole game is changing. The technology is a game changer now. Now traditional jobs are being disrupted. If you see OECD average of the risk of jobs being replaced by automation varies by country, but on an average for OECD countries is 57%. You see China, India, Thailand, South Africa, Ethiopia getting on top of the list. UK 35, USA 47. So this is the percentage of job being replaced by technologies, by automation technologies. If you see the impact on the developing countries is more, and some of the developed countries are still well off, because the scope of automation is more in the labor intensive areas. So which means we are the ones, India for India and other countries, we are the ones where the maximum change is going to be observed. And that is where the landscape of job seekers, the requirements of the job seekers, our demands are going to change drastically. Now, when this kind of technological changes happen, there is a phenomenon that comes up which is called hollowing of work. Now, what does that mean? So if you bucket the work, any work that we do, we can bucket it into three segregated categories. One is the low skill, one is the mid skill, and one is the high skill. The hollowing of work, I borrowed this term from hotspot movement by Dr. Linda Grattan of Mental Business School. I attended her workshop, so I came across this term there. So she explains that the lower level job will be there. That will not go away. A chef, a driver, a mason will still remain there. Technology, automation will not, people will not invest on those kind of work. That will remain. The mid-level job is the one where maximum automation will happen. And all parts of that work, the chunks of that bit will move up the ladder into the high skill category. And the middle skill categories will start becoming hollow. Because whatever leftover will be very mundane work, which again will move to lower skill category. And lower skill categories work, because of globalization, urbanization, people who is even not educated will take that up. For the educated class, if it is not ready for the future and they are still lying in the mid-skill category, there that struggle will happen. So, as the students and even existing employees, when people navigate through their career, they will discover that the workplace dynamics is increasingly changing. And what they have studied and learned so far in their colleges and initial days of working, the requirements of the workplace is substantially different, and there is a gap, and they need to quickly fill up that gap, cover that lost ground as fast as possible in order to survive and succeed. A survey says that 60% of the employees worry about losing their jobs due to lack of training and skills. Mind it, they worry about it. It necessarily doesn't mean it's going to happen. Yesterday, I read in Times of India that a LinkedIn survey gives a similar kind of number for Indians. 62% of Indians worry about losing their jobs or concerned about their job will become redundant or they will not be able to catch up with the changing technological demand and advancement. So India is no different here in terms of this survey. Okay. However, the digital disruptions, and this is very important to understand, the digital disruptions is not making the job opportunities completely vanish. What is happening is the job opportunities are being replaced. As one speaker rightly pointed out, quoting World Economic Forum, that the number of jobs that are going to be created in coming years is more than the number of jobs which are being redundant. Okay. So, as digital technologies uproot and disrupt the well-established industries, new innovation opportunities are going to keep emerging. In a short run, there may be concerns about job displacement, but in a long run, the newer jobs requiring latest skills will be in abundance. some of the job opportunities they are going to evolve, and they're already hit a hot property in the market. You can say digital marketing specialist, chief listening officers. Chief listening officer is somebody who churns the social media interaction, does a sensitivity analysis, and feeds back to the organization that this is the buzz about your organization in the social media and what you need to change. So interesting job. And similarly, there are other jobs. Some of them you have already heard about it. Some are more fancy, but these are the reality. But at the same point of time, when these jobs are being created, the only challenge is the rate of job displacement is higher than the job replacement. And that is the challenge. It is not about losing the job. It is about in what pace the job is getting replaced. Okay? We need to understand that machines are tacticals, but humans are strategic. So we as a human will figure out a way to learn the skills. It's all about the challenge, it's all about the crux of the discussion is at what pace. An interesting point is, so these are not necessarily a full-time jobs. In the morning, speakers talked about gig worker. Gig worker is nothing but freelancers who are working across world in a different country, different corner, but work is being distributed to them, and they are delivering that work, being in their own cozy rooms. That's called a gig worker, commonly known as freelancer, or also called as alternative workforce. Okay. This is being told, but an important data I'll just put here. Again, quoting Richard Bolton. He says that it's already $82 billion economy. Many times larger than the existing company that we work with. It's already an $82 billion economy, which is it's already happening. I personally know many people who work on that pattern, on their time, on their relaxed time, as per their requirement, as per their schedule they work, and they're making good money. So it's already in. Now this is another slide that is quickly going to talk about the technologies companies are likely to adopt by 2022. We cannot guess for too long. Technologies, how the technology is changing every 5 years, not too long. So you see, most of the technologies, the roles that we talked about, hot skills, they are World Economic Forum expects those technologies in the coming 3 years to be on the top of the chart. Another validation of the skills that we as an organization are investing in, or everybody, all the speakers talked about this technology. This is a validation of that fact. See, digital trade, Internet of Things, machine learning. Companies are going to adopt by 2022. Almost all the companies here, 75% is a huge chance. So, if the companies are changing the requirements so fast, and they are changing technology so fast, it is also important to understand that a recent McKinsey report quotes that by 2027, 75% of the companies in Standard & Poor's 500 list, 75% of the companies by 2027 will not even exist. Meaning they will be absorbed, they will be merged, or they will just vanish. So when companies of 75% of S&P 500 companies cannot guarantee a long-term employment to an individual, so an individual has to take up. We should not be surprised if the people turn out to focus more upon self-centered and more self-reliant methods of learning and career development. Self-reliant learning. So these are some examples of how the learning is taking the non-traditional lead. Okay, self-monitoring and self-improvement. Example was talked just in the morning by our team from Salesforce. Trailhead. They talked about Trailhead, something like that. It's free, and lots of such apps and apps are there where a person can go, they can monitor themselves, they can improve themselves, It's something like, your smart watches that you run 2 kilometers a day, next day it reminds that, your target is 2.2 kilometers. And that's called self-learning and being self-aware. So it's coming in learning, and an example you have already was talked about in the morning. Now we are in AR immersive experience. If you're going to teach your students about how to do a public speaking, and if they don't have an auditorium in front of them, how are they actually going to learn public speaking? So in fact, in one of our learning centers in Trivandrum, a student has developed a device, and it's a basic example of that. When you wear that device, it's a VR device, then you see a complete auditorium in front of you, even though there's nobody in front of you. And then you're doing public speaking, so you're getting a feeling of what you're speaking. And there are lots and lots of immersive experiences coming up, so people get a real feel of the job scenarios that are going to be put there. And that's coming big way. It's already happening. Social learning and MOOCs. Somebody touched upon MOOCs in the morning. It basically means massive. It basically means massive open courses, massive online open courses. Something like Coursera, Udacity. We talked about that. So people are learning through that. Nobody stops. I myself did a course on one of the MOOCs, and I did a course on forensic science. Nowhere related to my work, but I was interested. Similarly, if any of your students are interested in learning about IoT, they'll simply go, and there are a number of courses available. Some are free, some are paid. They have to choose what they have to take up as a course. But that's how the learning is happening. Peer-to-peer learning, MOOCs is happening. Gamified learning. In fact, another extension to that. The milestones, you compete with people, you cover some milestones, and that's how people are learning. And learning on the flow. The learning is going to be more and more integrated with the work. So it's not a separate course person is going to attend. And many of the times it's just on the go while working the person is going to learn. That's learning in the flow. And lifelong learning, as we talked about. Since half of the technologies, and I repeat that, half of the technology changes every 5 years. You cannot do a 4-year course and then say that you've learned it. You have to keep on learning. As a teacher, as a student, as a professional, we all need to keep on learning, keep on updating ourselves. Otherwise, we will become redundant. So, if that is so, if we become redundant, the other question comes up, that how to stay relevant then? How to keep traditional higher education relevant? And how to maintain employability? Who is responsible for that? We'll come to that. So the question that any student, any professional today has is that what makes me employable? Do I know that what are the jobs of the future? Have I got the skills, and more importantly, mindset to be employable? Now, education in 4.0 era is going to harness digital to deliver professional education. Somebody pointed out that do you still teach the latest technology? Do you teach the latest technology? If you are teaching, whether you are using technology to teach, because that's how people will relate to it. There are various ways of teaching around. We will talk about some. We'll talk about some more. Second thing is about methodology of teaching. Sage on the stage versus guide by the side. Now, a classroom picture was shown when a person is talking to hundreds of students in a classroom mode, blackboard this long. Now, that was the old model. It has to change. You have to be learning with the students, making more activity-based in a round table like this, student peer-to-peer learning happening. That is how the learning is going to happen. That's called flipping of the classroom. That's complete change from the traditional way. Adopting MOOCs. Can you include MOOCs in your courses also? And that's a question. This is not a prescription here. Can we include MOOCs? Because such rich material, Stanford, Harvard, they all have courses. Many are free. Can we make MOOCs as a part of the curriculum? You don't need to really invest your time in creating content. It's there. It's there for free. Gamified learning, encourage your students. There are so many things are already available. Gamified learning, in fact, in thesis we do gamified hiring. We do contests. People participate in contests, lakhs and lakhs of people. Around 2 lakhs people last year participated in one of our flagship coding contests. So people compete, students across globe are competing, not just India. Across globe are competing with each other, and successful people are getting jobs apart from the prize monies. So, and then of course startup culture encouragement, professional fundamentals. Technology will change, professional fundamentals will not change. And support students, it's very important, learn how to learn. Because after they leave the courses after they graduate from your college, they will still need to keep on learning. So learning how to learn becomes very important. Teach them the methods, show them the path, how to learn. And they will keep on learning lifelong. Learning on the flow will happen. And hybrid competencies, as we talked about, business is ultimately driving the change. Technology is an enabler. Technology will change. Business is driving. So tech along with business is something which is called hybrid competencies in anything now. People need to be encouraged to hone skills on these areas. Second question: whose responsibility is to maintain employability at the end of the day? So we can start pointing fingers, all across, but it's not one person's responsibility. Okay. Now everybody has to do its bit. Now, how can individual do it? We talked about modern ways of learning, being aware, learning how to learn. What can government do? So, government is already doing a lot of things, but we always have an expectation. So, government can do various things. Like, first thing is to help bridge the gap which is currently there in the pace of displacement of the jobs and the place of newer jobs coming up. In some of the countries, government gives concessional loans and waivers on the course fees of the elderly people. Let's say 40 plus people, if they want to reskill themselves, government gives them the waivers, easy loans to make that possible. So that's an encouragement. And from the industry, corporate side, I can talk about my organization, and we can talk about the way we are approaching this challenge. And encouraging people to learn new skills. For example, we talked about digital skills. So TCS does offer differential packages for the students who are digitally skilled already to a certain extent, who have that aptitude. A differential package is given to them. We do an open test also, and people who qualify the test and people who are qualifying the interviews for digital skills, spatial offer for digital skills, and they will guaranteed to work on the digital projects only. Okay. Apart from that, TCS also has something called COIN. It is called Co-Innovation Network. It's basically a network of more than 2,000 startups and around 500 plus universities and institutions across the globe. And the whole idea is coming together, because one person cannot do, coming together and working on the latest innovative technologies. Apart from that, because of the geographical distance, we also hear that people are not getting equal opportunities, especially some of the northeast students can raise their hand saying that college is not organizing placements, I'm not getting job opportunities. So TCS used technology to do that, and we did national qualified tests. Since last year, that's the way we are hiring. So close to 280,000, 3 lakh students participated in national qualified tests. They can participate in any corner of India. They just have to go. We have used TCS's own in-house IN platform, assessment platform. They have to go to an IN center which is spread across India. They can go to the center, appear in the test. If they qualify for the test, they are called for the interview. So full democracy in the recruitment is coming up, and it's reaching. Technology is making us reach to every corner of India. In fact, internships. People say that I'm in a remote area. I cannot go to Kolkata or Bangalore or Delhi to do an internship. We started giving them remote internship option. Be in the college. We will do a remote internship from TCS offices. Our mentors will be TCS offices. We do remote internship. In fact, remote internship in the digital technology areas, that is also we are offering. So if there is a talent anywhere in India, the organizations are investing time and effort to utilize, harness, and encourage them. And of course, we do contest hiring, like we talked about core beta, engineering, some of the contests we do. People can sit in their home, participate. If they qualify, they do really well. TCS, apart from prize money, TCS also makes an offer to them. That's called gamified hiring. We are doing that. And we have designed special courses like CSPF, which is Computer Science and Business Skills, the hybrid learning we talked about. So for that also we have piloted in some of the colleges, and in case it is successful, it will be rolled out in a larger scale. And this is only talking about the grown-up students, the college students. In fact, we are part of Go IT programs and multiple programs which works on the school level itself, because the skill gap needs to be fulfilled working at the school level. So that's what we do, and there are various corporates which are doing amazingly fantastic work, if not as equal to what we are doing. Some are doing great and some are just catching up, but work is happening. And of course, we can talk about academia. So academia can do a lot of work we talked about. Another thing that you can do is people who have left the colleges, who are your alumni, can we connect with them, utilize them more, or maybe run some courses for them to reskill them up, upskill them up. Is it possible? Is that a question? So probably, we need to think about all those options. Everybody has a responsibility to be taken care of. So in summary, what we can say is, change is happening. And change is not scary, because jobs will be created. The question is coming together, joining hands, working all these forces together, and increase the rate, elevate the rates in which the newer jobs are replacing the existing job. That is the crux of the message I want to give it to you. And then thank you again for coming to the session, and thank you again to ICT to giving the opportunity. Thank you so much. Thanks a bunch, and I will love you.